We're back. We haven't played the intro yet, but this is a little part where we ramp, vamp.
I could just like lip sync the intro, It's like and it doesn't blow my eardrums out as much too. So that wasn't as good, and we didn't get like Andrew Luck diving into the end zone and stuff. But just imagine it. Just imagine it. It's look. It's nearly 10 o'clock Eastern on a Saturday night. I'm just gonna start out silly on this because we're both old and gonna be tired anyway. So we might as well just provide some entertainment here too.
You know what? We already have viewers. Let's just go with that.
Let's go.
Like that intro. That's my favorite.
Let's just go. Yeah.
My name's Judah Buddha. I'm here with it's Jared, the ultimate stud, absolute stud. I always get that wrong. And man, what a week! We're not going to play the intro, but I feel like we need to talk
news in the NFL today,
because there has been a plethora of things happening, and I'm not going to bury the lead. Aaron Rodgers is going to play tomorrow. So, man, big news. Big news. What's up, dudes? What's up, Drew, man? He brings a certain, hey, Cademan's here, too. Hello, Rotohackers. Oh, he's already got a question. All right, we'll get to that. So, two major things. And that is we have Odell Beckham going to the team we spent a little time on. I remember because you were like LA, and I was like, the Chargers?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not the Chargers.
Yeah, right.
And so I remember clearly.
Yeah.
And so he ended up going to the Rams.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I named 3 teams, and 2 of the teams were the ones that were rumored to be places that he was going to, and he ended up not going there. But so I said the Packers, the Chiefs, or the Rams, because OBJ needs a winning team, or he won't be happy. He needs a good quarterback, or he won't be happy, and he needs to be in a position where he can at least be like the number 2 option and get enough targets, or he won't be happy. And with the Rams, it looked like they were going to fail on the third part of it until, plot twist, it turned out that on the day they signed OBJ, they also found out that, we don't know if they found out that day. They probably found out that day, or at least they had a strong suspicion that Robert Woods had torn his ACL and was out for the year. So it ticks all 3 boxes. Really, and the 4th box too is that he's going to much prefer, which I didn't say this, but it's OBJ. He's going to prefer somewhere like New York, Miami, LA.
Oh, LA. So, he already has a house in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So for sure.
Yeah. So it makes perfect sense.
But at first, right? We were all wondering LA, not because of him, right? Like obviously that'd be a great place to get. It looks like they are definitely headed for the Super Bowl. However, why would they go and get him? And then we get the news that Robert Woods has torn an ACL, and man, that's sad for me because I have a lot of Robert Woods, yeah. But honestly, I got him for cheap, and he hasn't really produced great for me. So it's not like I'm losing Alvin Kamara or something. Oh wait, there's more news.
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara is out with a knee. Now, that doesn't seem as serious. It doesn't seem like it looks like more like an MCL sprain. Maybe even it's an ankle sprain that they call the knee sprain, what I've heard some rumors saying. Have you seen anything on that?
I actually did not look at the details of it. I just saw that I knew that he hadn't been practicing, and I saw Matthew Berry put out an ominous tweet like, "Oh, the biggest news, or the big news no one's talking about is that Kamara, has missed back-to-back practices." So I might not have otherwise really thought that much about it, but Matthew Berry sounded like he had some inside info on it, and so it was. Yeah, I don't know. They're saying knee.
Yeah, I mean, most people are saying knee, but the people that went and looked at the film could not find a place where he hurt his knee.
Mm-hmm.
Just couldn't find it. I had taken a shot to the knee, but it gives me more hope knowing that it's probably not too bad. In fact, I'd rather it be a knee than like a high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it seems like that's a little better. So let's go back to OBJ. What are the fantasy implications for this? Because he was a cancer a week ago. Today, people are talking about him like he is the new coming of NFL Michael Jordan. Where are you on that spectrum?
Yeah, really, I don't know, which is super helpful, which is great advice, is I don't know what you're going to get. But, it's tough because we kind of thought like, oh, it's just like he and Baker can't get on the same page or something like that. I don't know. But like Donovan Peoples-Jones has been a good deep threat for Cleveland. So was it Baker? Was it the fact that they couldn't get on the same page, or he wasn't looking for him enough? Or was it Odell's skills dropping off? Or was it Odell just not being mentally plugged in after a while? I mean, I know everybody's got to give hot takes and tell you this is definitely what's going to happen, but really, I don't think we really have any idea until we see him with Stafford and the Rams, and then that's going to be the deciding thing. Like, was he just, mentally checked out? I mean, the guy just turned 29, so he's not old. I mean, he's having injuries, but I don't think it's anything that should really just be crippling for his career. So,
That's true.
I think my thought is that he will come back and be pretty good with the Rams, because I don't think there's anything that should physically hit him. Matthew Stafford will be, if not, I mean, I don't know, at least, I think we'd put Matt Stafford on par with where Eli Manning was when Odell came into the league and had his, best couple of seasons. So, I think he'll be at least a tie for the best quarterback he's had throwing to him. So I think, and he's got the opportunity. I mean, he should have the opportunity as the number 2 option in that offense. And I know Matthew Stafford has been throwing more, throwing shorter passes to Cup and stuff, but surely they're going to take some shots down the field. So I think maybe.
I mean, that's a huge turnaround from you. You went from Odell Beckham, I don't want him anywhere, to now you're looking at maybe picking him up some places, huh?
Oh, he's gone. Like, I picked him up as soon as Cleveland. No, as soon as Cleveland started talking about releasing him, where I could pick him up, I picked him up. He was gone in some places I didn't. Well, some places I didn't really have a spot for him. Some places he was gone. So overall, I picked him up on like about a quarter of my teams, because I've got a lot of receiver options on a lot of teams, and he was taken on some. But yeah, he's. I mean, now he's 87% rostered, but I think he was probably about probably that much before. I don't know how much he was before he got signed, but I know he was pretty well taken there, except for a couple places.
Here's my take. I think you're right. I think we may, as might be, might not come as any surprise to anybody, but I think me and you may flip on this. Because just from fantasy experience, I know that wide receivers struggle a little bit in new systems.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new system. This is, I think, McVay does not have simple systems. Now, I think Odell can. He's got a high NFL IQ and catch up. But I think it's going to take him a little while to catch up. And I don't picture him being any higher than a wide receiver 3. I actually think so I think Van Jefferson may be somebody to go out and get. I don't know if he's on the waiver wire anywhere, but at least for the first month or so, it would be perfect narrative street, quintessential football for Odell to come out and all the haters are vindicated. He just stumbles out of the gate, does terrible, maybe even gets hurt. But then they get to the Super Bowl or they get to the playoffs and he just starts blossoming. He starts hitting the groove. He starts, and for fantasy that doesn't help as much. What do you think this means though for Cooper Kupp? Anything?
25 targets a game. No, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of funny if because I thought, Kupp can't really sustain the pace that he's on. He's pretty well sustained it. It's just been an insane. I mean, he's basically, averaging a dozen targets a game, catching nearly double digits, catching about 9 balls. He's got, how many touchdowns does he have? 10 touchdowns in 9 games. I mean, it's just insane numbers. In 9 games, he has 1,019 yards and 10 touchdowns, 74 receptions, 103 targets. I mean, it is. I mean, he could literally almost get, he's probably going to fall short, but he could literally almost get 200 targets. That's crazy.
Wow. Now, I think the person this helps the most it's got to be Stafford, right? I mean, this has got to really. I'm talking about for fantasy. I don't know necessarily if it helps them win more, help Stafford lead them, but Woods. Predominantly, the reason Woods wasn't great for fantasy is because he's such a great blocker. I don't think that you're going to see ODB doing a lot of blocking. I don't think they hired him to block.
Right.
So I think that's going to cut down on the running, and I think that's going to up the throws.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to help Stafford with fantasy goodness. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's. I think when I thought Woods was still going to be in the mix, I thought oh man, this is going to bump Stafford up even higher. In fact, now that they've lost him and they're adding in OBJ, I agree with what you're saying about maybe the fit being better, but I don't know. I don't know if his numbers will change drastically.
They're already pretty high, right?
They're already pretty good. I'll have to look and see where he, ranks in terms of quarterbacks. But I wouldn't think that they're gonna change drastically due to OBJ coming in.
It's just that to me, OBJ represents a ton more passes. It can't help but, represent more passes. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
There's other news, right? Or were you looking at something?
So I was just looking to see. So Stafford is basically the number 4 quarterback in fantasy right now, just a 1/10 of a point behind Jalen Hurts for 3rd. So he's having a good year. Yeah, I think the question for the Rams will be, as more as, do they really need to change anything? In terms of, if they pass more or not. I mean, you look at, they're 7-2. The 2 games they've lost are to Tennessee and Arizona, both very good teams. So I don't know. Are they going to pass more? I mean, there's games where Matt Stafford will throw, against Tennessee, he threw 48 passes. Against Detroit, he threw 41. Against Arizona, he threw 41. So he's throwing more in their losses, but they seem to like Henderson as a running back pretty well. They have a pretty good defense, and so I don't know that this means that they're really going to change what they do drastically and throw a lot more passes.
Now, I was joking mostly about the Aaron Rodgers news, but it is going to be interesting to see that game. We got Aaron Rodgers versus, coming back off of COVID, and we have Wilson coming back off of IR.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is going to be a big throwing game? Do you think it's going to be a low passing game? What do you think is going on in this game? I mean, it's 2 not very good defenses, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're maybe middle of the pack. They're not terrible though, right? Let's see. I mean,
lately,
I mean, Green Bay's defense has actually been, now granted, they've faced mostly teams that don't have great offenses.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay's defense has been okay. Seattle has been sort of hard to judge because they had Geno Smith in there, but I mean, even then, they're also kind of difficult to judge because they've played mostly a lot of bad teams, especially lately. I mean, they've played Pittsburgh's offense, they've played the Saints offense, they've played the Jaguars offense. So I think the defenses are really hard to judge because they've been okay. They've been, I'd say they've even been sort of slightly maybe above average, but they haven't really played good teams and good offenses. So I would say they're probably not that good, but the numbers really don't yet. So Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers to me is always kind of interesting. They had that playoff game, which is now seemed like ages ago, where Seattle came back and won that game, and even actually in the media, just little things that never really blew up into big things, but just things that Russell Wilson would say. And I can think of, an instance or two where Russell Wilson would say something and then Aaron Rodgers would sort of come back and clearly be taking like a little bit of a swipe at him or something like that. So those,
really?
Yeah, those always, I think this matchup kind of interests me, Green Bay and Seattle.
It'll be interesting to watch. I think for fantasy, it's going to be quite a bonanza. I mean, at least I think a lot of us that have players on the Seahawks are glad to see Wilson come back.
Yes, because I've got a fair amount of DK, and then I've got some Alex Collins, and then if Chris Carson comes back, I've got a couple of shares of Chris Carson. Without Russell Wilson, if it's Geno Smith in there, then none of those really mean a whole lot.
Well, all right. Well, we've hit the news quite a bit. Was there anything else? Am I missing something? Something come up?
Oh, Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh yeah, he's out.
Is out. What was funny was I saw a headline that said something like another star quarterback out as Ben Roethlisberger. I'm like, Who wrote this headline?
I saw in the comments of the announcement a lot of people saying this is great for fantasy. Almost anybody is better than Ben. Who's taking over? Duck Hodges or somebody?
I don't know if it's going to be Mason Rudolph or they've had. I don't even know who's Pittsburgh. I'll have to look and see who's.
I think you're right, Mason Rudolph. Sounds
right. I mean it's going to be. Gosh, it's like Pittsburgh has managed to accumulate just the worst roster. Okay, so actually it looks like it'll be. It is Mason Rudolph. For a second, I got kind of excited because it looked like it was, and this is how telling it is. Like I kind of got excited for a second when I thought it was going to be Dwayne Haskins.
You got excited for Dwayne.
Just because he will just throw the ball. He'd just throw the ball downfield. He'd get intercepted a ton, sure, but some guys might catch passes. Mason Rudolph will be as conservative as anything.
Well, they're playing the Lions, so it's like.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lions, let's get to the question so we can get on into bed. Hawkinson or Hunter Henry? I'm going Hunter Henry. I'll tell you why. I think so. The Bills are playing the Browns.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. The Patriots.
The Patriots playing the Browns.
Yeah. I was thinking of Bill Belichick. I think he's probably pissed he didn't get Odell, and this may be a little nice. This may give him a little focusing juice to really tear into what I think of as a Midland team, the Browns. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going with Hawk. Henry is getting usually about 3 targets a game, so it's just on whether or not he gets a touchdown, where he can get you close to double-digit points. Hawkinson normally is flirting with double-digit targets. The last 3 games, he's basically averaged about 10.5. And of course, he's not really scoring touchdowns, but both defenses are about similar in terms of how good they are against tight ends. And yeah, I normally follow the targets, and since there's that big of a gap between them, I'm going to go with Hawkinson.
Okay. And then, also he said, where's my Allied Rivals partner? He is on a special assignment, which means we have no idea. Okay, so Druvano back in the chat says Hunter Renfrow, Brandon Ayuk, or Van Jefferson PPR. Hunter Renfrow has been looking pretty good lately. Who are they playing? They are playing
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Oh, I kind of like some Hunter Renfrow. I like that matchup. Yeah, because Brandon Ayuk's playing the Rams. Van Jefferson is playing the Rams. It's playing
49ers.
49ers. Yeah. I like Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Ruggs is gone now. I don't think it's really changing Renfro's targets dramatically, but he did tie, his season high in targets and catches last week. He had a touchdown. He's not really getting a ton of yards, but PPR, I definitely like him better than Ayuk and Van Jefferson generally anyway, but especially considering the matchups.
Yeah. Agreed. And Pittman at Jags or Terry? We're talking about scoring Mclaurin here at the Bucks for my wide receiver too. I'm assuming he's talking about McLaurin. Is he at the Bucks? Yeah. Wow, I'd go with Terry, but Pittman is also a good choice. That's really hard. Kind of you're blessed if you do, blessed if you don't. feeling, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's become actually a much harder debate over the last several weeks because, Pittman has 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He's, averaging about 85 yards. He's playing a bad team. I think the complicating thing for potentially for Pittman is that T.Y. Hilton is back this week. In theory, at least he's going to be on the field a while. How long he's on the field, we'll see, since he gets hurt pretty quickly. Terry McLaurin has been more, boom or bust. The last 4 games, 3 out of the 4, he's been under 7 points, and one of those he was at 21.7 points. So he had like 6 points more in one game than he had in the other 3 combined.
He was struggling with a little bit of injury in the last 2 before the bye, right? I think.
Maybe so. Yeah, but he still, I mean, when they played Green Bay, he still ended up with, 122 yards and a touchdown. So
wow.
I don't know. I think a lot of it was just kind of who they were playing. This is tough. I mean, I like both those players.
Let's go with Pittman. I think Pittman's going to have a great game.
Yeah. Even though I just talked up Pittman right there a little bit, I think I would still, because it's Tampa, and Washington's going to have to keep throwing. I'm going to say this is probably going to be one of those games where Terry McLaurin is more likely to boom. So he could throw down 20 points for you. But if you want to go with consistency, if you want to go with the safer floor, then I would go Pittman. But
the only thing I'd say about that is the pass rush for the Bucs is a lot better than the Jags, and the quarterback. I guess it's hard to tell, but I could see. What's his name? Who's that guy over there in
Taylor
Washington?
Taylor.
Heineke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him on his back a lot with some JPP or what's his name?
Yeah, I don't even.
Who's their pass rusher? I think it's JPP, but they got a couple of pass rushes that are good. Now they don't have a very good secondary, so if he gets it off in time, cha-chow. Yeah, I still go with Pittman. You're going with Terry. All right, we'll see.
Yeah, I will by a hair.
All right. Pick 2. Eli Mitchell, Alex Collins, or Ramondre. If he plays, yeah, I think it's a big if. He has not cleared protocol yet, and today's Saturday, so usually by now you're familiar, right?
No, Patriots beat writer Evan Lazar reports Ramondre Stevenson has cleared the concussion protocol. That's a 5:18 p.m. So that was later this afternoon. So looks like he will be in.
I need to go pick up some Ramondre. I think I would much rather have Ramondre Stevenson than any of those.
Yeah.
I think Alex Collins is going to be playing. I mean, it's going to be a committee there. I mean, both of them, Eli Mitchell and Collins, are going to be a big committee.
Is Eli Mitchell going to be committee?
Yeah, I think so. Who do you think is? He wasn't the committee last week?
I mean. Last week,
everybody's healthy right now.
Sure. Let's see how the carries broke down. I mean, he didn't have a ton of carries, but I think they just weren't running the ball that much. Period. Let me look real quick. You can, if you want to go on with.
This one's easy because Godwin's not playing, I don't think. It doesn't look like he's going to be playing, but we need to effort that as well. I'd definitely go Pittman over Godwin.
So Basically, Eli Mitchell still handled 8 out of the 9 carries for running backs. San Francisco just didn't run the ball. So Jeff Wilson came back. But did not get any carries. JaMychal Hasty had a carry. They gave Ayuk a carry, and he actually fumbled on his one carry. Garoppolo rushed for one, but
I mean, they're playing the Rams.
True. Yeah, it's not an ideal run defense, but we've got to pick 2. So it's either
we got to pick 2. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's either Mitchell or Collins if you're going with Stevenson.
Oh man, that's a tough choice.
Yeah.
He says he thinks Hasty is out as well. I think Collins. You know why? The run defense for the Packers is not very good. That's the only reason I can think of.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to say Mitchell, and
all right.
I don't know if I want to say Stevenson, but I guess Stevenson. Yeah.
But this is the state of the fantasy running back choice pool of late. It's tough. It's bare bones. It's even worse in our listener league. It's terrible, dude.
Yeah, there's just nothing.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
There's nothing out there.
You know what I was going to it won't work in our listener league, but because somebody has them, weirdly. But Drew, if this is not our listener league, I would go out and look for Gio Bernard. I'll tell you why. Because I think Chris Godwin is out. Gronk is out. And AP is out. I think they're going to need an extra passer. I think they're going to go a lot with Gio. I could see him getting a touchdown. I'd rather have Gio than all 3 of these guys, I'd say. Just to put that out there. But I've been very wrong in the past. So take that with a grain of salt. Is there anybody that you would pick up off the waiver wire over any of these guys?
No. I mean, there's just not enough out there on most waiver wires. The only possibility might be, I still don't think I would necessarily do it, but JD McKissick, I think they're not going to be trying to run the ball a whole lot on Tampa. They're going to be throwing. But I don't know that I would take him over any of these.
What about this Benjamin guy? Now that we didn't talk about the fact that the Cardinals running back, he has a name.
James Conner?
No, the other one.
Oh, that Chase Edmonds is out.
Chase Edmonds is out, so it could be that you'll see the Benjamin guy who is right behind Connor get more play. May even steal a touchdown. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think both of us are tired. It's about time we have a nice little 30 spot. We're even over 30. I'm ready to go to bed. You seem to be ready to go to bed. Unless you guys have any other questions, unless you have any comments, sir. Anything strikes you for these upcoming games?
Let me do a quick rundown of
we did forget something. Cam Newton coming back.
Yes.
Coming back to the Carolina here, the Carolina Panthers. What do you think he'll be able to start within the next couple of weeks, or?
I'd say probably next week. He'll be
Really?
out there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the alternative's PJ Walker, So, I think Cam going back to the Panthers is kind of like if anybody's ever seen pro wrestling and you ever saw The Ultimate Warrior, where like his intro was super exciting, that music would hit, and dun, 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 and he would come, just charging down to the ring and shaking the ropes. And then once it actually started, it was all downhill from there. Like once the competition actually started, it was terrible. And it just looked awful.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
But the reunion and the build up to it is going to be super exciting. Enjoy all that because that's going to be the most exciting part of that, and it's not going to be a whole lot of fun. Say if you're a DJ Moore owner, or watching Cam sail passes 13 feet over DJ Moore's head, or if you're a Christian McCaffrey's owner and you're watching Cam sail passes 6 feet over Christian McCaffrey's head. He's closer. He's going to be closer to him, so it won't be as high, but they will still go several feet over his head. So I've seen this movie before, and it's not enjoyable. So, like what, I guess Carolina's thinking is like, at least we can get, kind of like a feel good reunion out of it, because what is the alternative? Sam Darnold is terrible. PJ Walker's terrible, and they have no real, fans have no real affinity for them. So it's either them or, Cam, who will do basically the same thing as them, but with some love from the fans because nostalgia.
And they play the Washington football team next week.
Nice.
Which means he's playing his old coach, who pretty much kicked him to the curb, I think, right? That's.
I am trying to remember if it was Ron Rivera or if that happened after Ron was already gone.
But I think there's bad blood there.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but Carolina just. I mean, they've got to draft someone, and let me just say, Carson Wentz is getting a lot of hate. So as a Colts fan, Carson Wentz is getting. I don't need the whole screen; it's fine. But Carson Wentz is getting a lot of hate. But when the trades happened in the offseason, the number one option that I wanted the Colts to get was Stafford, right? But Stafford didn't want to go there. Stafford wanted to go to LA, and that's fine. That's worked out very well. But I don't blame the Colts, since he didn't want to go there. So then, it's a question of who's then the next best quarterback available. And people criticize them for getting Carson Wentz. But Carson Wentz at least had an MVP caliber season and a couple of pretty good seasons. And he had just an okay season, and he had a really awful season. But he also had no receivers, and things were just kind of, spiraling in Philadelphia at that point. So they had been talking about, like, okay, who's available? And basically it was Carson Wentz or Sam Darnold, or, some even lesser options. And there were probably some people, I don't remember how the split would have broken down from Colts fans, but I'd say maybe more wanted Wentz. But some people said, like, oh yeah, no, go get Sam Darnold. And I'm going, no, Sam, at least Carson Wentz has shown the ability before. Yeah. No matter how bad he was last year, he at least showed the ability. Sam Darnold has never shown me anything in his time with the Jets. Now, when he got to Carolina, and from about like games, I don't know, like 2 through 4 or something like that, where he was running pretty well, I thought, like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe out of New York, with a different coach and, someone who's going to make more use of his running ability and stuff like that. Like, maybe he can no, he's terrible. So, someone, a buddy of mine who's a big Panthers fan was, he sent me a link today showing Sam's numbers in New York. Let's see if I can find this real quick. He sent me a link showing, okay, here it is. Yeah, he sent me a link showing Sam's numbers in New York versus Carolina, and his pro football, I think this is Pro Football Focus grade, was like 60.4 in New York. In Carolina, it's 60.3. His yard attempt in New York were 6.6. His yards per attempt in Carolina, 6.5. And you can go through, some other stuff where, it's basically just right in line with what he did in New York. So this is just...
And he really didn't do that great in college either.
No. And there was a memorable quote. My buddy, who's the Panthers fan, I sent him this quote when we were discussing Sam early in the season, because this is my all-time favorite draft analysis of a player. My all-time favorite quote. And I'd have to, let's see, let me look up, because I can Google the quote real quick and see who said it. Because I had forgotten which scout said this. So this was this is an ex-scout named Dan Shanka. I don't know who Dan Shanka is, but anyway, so his quote about Sam Darnold, he called Sam Darnold, because of his footwork being bad, he called him a cow on ice. So I've always have that mental picture when I think of Sam Darnold, is just this poor cow out on like a frozen lake, and it's like the cartoon, it's like got like cartoon animation where the legs are just like going crazy. It's trying to get its footing and it can't. Its feet are just going everywhere. But that's my all-time favorite. I think just because it was the funniest / most demeaning quote that I've ever heard about a player put out there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we have a few more questions.
Yeah,
and then go home.
Yeah. Let's do that. So, well, I think we skipped Drew.
Whoa.
Skip Drew.
Okay,
there we go.
Knox versus Freedmuth. Muth. I go Muth. You?
I'm gonna go Knox because Freedmuth has been working with Ben. Now that Ben's out, I don't know what that connection is going to look like with Mason Rudolph.
I forgot about that. No, you're right, Knox.
Yeah.
Knox. Yeah. Ben's out. Knox. Go Knox. Mitchell versus Javonte Williams. I go Williams. You like Mitchell. I just don't like Mitchell.
For this I'd go Javonte just because it's a less intimidating matchup. Yeah.
Adam Thielen or AJ Brown. Did you just see that JJ Julio is on IR? We didn't talk about that. I think I go AJ here.
But why? I mean, if we talk about every like wide receiver 5 that goes on IR, then
Good point. Mean.
I mean, man. And people criticize the Falcons. I don't remember what I said about it. I don't think I had a hot take on it, but I could be wrong.
No, you were kind of agnostic on it.
Yeah, I don't remember having strong feelings about it. But yeah, Julio he's been so much worse than I think almost anyone could have. I mean, he's just been, after that first, like week 2, he had 128 yards, but he, I mean, in typical Julio fashion, He has 0 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. He hates touchdowns.
He hates touchdowns. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he's just been bad. Last year, it wasn't really great because he missed a lot of time. But like, if you projected his numbers over a full season, like they would have been okay. I mean, he had 1,771 yards and 51 receptions in nine games. That's not bad. So I think this is a be careful what you wish for sort of thing, where he sort of openly complained about Matt Ryan, and then you went to Ryan Tannehill, and that's not an upgrade. So yeah, I think Julio kind of got what he deserved here, because I understand. I don't blame anyone. I will never fault a player for wanting to get out of an Atlanta organization. However, if you're going to do that, you better make sure that you're going to a better situation. And he did not. So anyway, to this question, I'm going to go AJ Brown.
Who's Minnesota playing?
So the Titans are playing. AJ Brown and the Titans have the Saints, and the Saints now at this point have given defense. They've actually now at this point given up the 4th most points to fantasy wide receivers. Yeah, they've fallen off.
Wow.
Now Minnesota, on the other hand, is facing the Chargers, which have basically the 2nd best pass defense. And I don't like this matchup for Thielen. This for me is an easy AJ Brown on this one.
Okay. Do it. AJ Brown. That's what I say too. So do we go Smith or Van Jefferson here? I think I still go with Smith.
Yeah, that's tougher. You don't really know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get week to week out of not necessarily Smith, but Jalen Hurts. Like if you just paired Smith with a consistent quarterback, I think he'd be doing really well. They're playing Denver, which is kind of a stingy pass defense. I'm actually going to go with Van on this one.
Okay. I'm a huge Panther. Hey, Vanna, what are you talking about here? I'm a huge Panthers fan. I'm stoked Cam is coming back. Should have never let him go. I don't know, man. He just hasn't really produced in years, brother. Years. He's taken a lot of hits. And we'll see. We'll see. He just is not accurate at all, though, to Jared's point about throwing it way over their head.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. I stick by my treat this like an Ultimate Warrior match comparison. Is like enjoy the build up to it, because once it actually gets going, it's going to be trash.
Denver defense or Browns defense? Browns are playing. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Browns are playing the Patriots. Yeah. I actually go with Denver. I like Denver defense here.
I think I do too. Denver's been pretty solid. They're at home. Jalen Hurts can be prone to make some mistakes. I would go Denver too.
Yeah. Godwin, Mike Williams, or Kirk, 1.5 PPR. D'Ernest Johnson, Patterson. It looks like D'Ernest is going to get the start, but I don't know if we know for sure at this point. Do we? Has Chubb been ruled out completely?
I believe it's been ruled out. Yeah.
Okay. I think maybe I'd go D'Ernest then.
Yeah, I mean it's Patriots haven't been great against the run. I mean Cordero Patterson is Cordero Patterson this year. So that's, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to bench him though. I mean,
yeah, it is. I mean, he's had consistent double digits.
Yeah.
Sorry, walked on a bad joke.
I like both like both those running backs pretty well.
What about these wide receivers? Is Godwin playing? I don't think he's playing.
It looks like they say he's expected to play.
Oh.
Oh. So yeah, that was the latest. I would say Godwin, since they're expecting him to play and it's a bad pass defense. But it's tough though. I mean, you're risking, you're risking him being limited or maybe being out last minute. So, I mean, I would follow that up until game time. If Hopkins is out, then I think, Kirk is not a bad option. The problem there is, that's a 4:05 game. Godwin's playing at 1:00. So if Godwin is going to be in, I think you probably got to roll with him. If not, if he's out, then you can at least wait and see what the Christian Kirk situation looks like if Hopkins is going to be out. It's crazy now that I would probably rank Mike Williams third out of those three when Williams was just destroying people early on in the season. I don't know what's happened there, but he's fallen off. So, and his floor is so low that it's tough to trust him if you've got some, solid other options. So I would wait and see, if it sounds like Godwin's going to play, I think you probably got to roll with him. But if it sounds like he's going to be limited or if he's out, then I'd wait and see, what the other situations look like. If Hopkins is out, maybe play Kirk. If Hopkins is going to be in, then just go ahead and roll with Mike Williams then.
Now, looks like the last notification I did get was that, let me see. Let me make sure I read it right. Yeah, that they are pessimistic that Kyler Murray is going to play. Now, it didn't seem like much of a down. Well, okay, it was a downgrade, but seemed like for fantasy, Colt was still slinging it.
Yeah, Christian Kirk still ended up, I think, having a pretty solid game last week. So I don't know that would be a ton. He had caught all 6 of his passes for 91 yards, so not bad. Yeah, so I would feel okay. But I mean, Carolina has actually been pretty tough on the pass.
Yeah.
I still say if Godwin plays and against a bad Washington pass defense, I would say roll with him, unless it just sounds like he's going to be so limited that he's just out there on the field as a decoy.
Yeah, Drew says he wishes they'd get on it. I know, but all they have done is waste money. Oh yeah. The Panthers on other guys. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is like Teddy Bridgewater is having this like super efficient year. Like Teddy's like, I don't know, he's completing like 70% of his passes or something like that. He's having a great year, and then so I don't know. I mean, I don't blame him for getting rid of him, but I don't blame him for letting Teddy go. But I'm not sure, Sam Darnold was the option. Although I don't want to take up a ton of time on this, but at the same time, like, what were the other options? Like they could have gotten Fields. Maybe, Justin Fields is starting to show a little bit more, but that was about the other option. That probably is what they should have done. That's probably what if I had been them, would not have traded for Sam Darnold, and I would have stayed there, and then Justin Fields would have been available, and they would have probably, I would think, taken him if they hadn't traded for Darnold. So that's where the mistake came in, was trading for Sam Darnold.
Interesting. One thing I missed was the Titans' Ryan Tannehill is banged up. Did you know that?
Is he, I mean, to the point of being in danger of not playing, or?
Well, I mean, this was from yesterday, so I don't know. I don't know if we've had an update since then, but says the Titans QB Ryan Tannehill's not on the field to open the opening portion of today's practice. Something to monitor. So keep that in mind.
Doesn't have a He doesn't seem to have a. Oh, it says he's had been dealing with an illness, but doesn't have a designation. So, sounds like he's okay.
All right. Now, I was looking up anything I could on J-Rob and Godwin. I mean, it looks like Godwin is probably he's gonna be a game time decision, I think. And then J-Rob, it looks like he's got a good chance to play, says the coach, and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he'll probably play. Now, lately, when these guys have come off of injury, they haven't done great. I haven't seen one case yet in which somebody comes off of injury, they say he's great to go, and he just tears it up. Have you this season? It's been pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a broad question, and it's late, and so I can't really offer a good answer on that.
I say lower your expectations for J-Rob and Godwin, but I think they'll probably both play. The guys think D. Smith is a top wideout?
Top 15 to 20 wideout rest of the season. I've got to look at the full list here real quick, but I'm going to
say no.
I'm going to say no as well.
Maybe top 20.
Yeah,
not top 15. Not maybe top 25. Top 30. There's so many guys ahead of him.
Yeah. If he was paired with a better quarterback, but not with Jalen Hurts. No.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a great option next year. If you can get him in Dynasty, pick him up. Can we see a Lions-Browns upset? I think so.
Yeah, I think that both those are doable.
Yeah. I would. Well, I mean, they're playing each other, right? No.
Lions are playing. No, they could not. They could not both upset if they were playing each other.
It'd be interesting to see some upsets going on. I've got Hopkins. We already talked about that. Gallup, Johnson on the Bucks, or Knox start. I would do Knox. Johnson. Who Johnson on the Bucks?
Yeah, he was a guy who kind of filled in some. With Godwin playing, if Godwin plays, that makes it iffier. I guess Johnson's been sort of absorbing some of those targets that Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski have not been getting. But, I mean, they're playing Washington. Washington's terrible. I would probably start him over Gallup, but probably not Knox. I mean, I know it's kind of weird to start a tight end over a wide receiver, but, Josh Allen seems to like Knox in the red zone, so I would give a slight edge to Knox.
Totally agree. Mitchell, Mark Ingram. I'm going Mark Ingram, and he's the starting running back against not a great defense. Actually, pretty stout defense, and the Titans have a pretty good run defense, but could see him doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell, I have no idea, so I'm going Mark Ingram. How do you feel?
Same.
Yeah. What about Ramondre versus Dylan, PPR? I think I'd probably go Ramondre. He does well even when he's not the only guy in town.
Yeah. I mean, it's a much easier matchup for Dylan, but I don't know. The workload seems to be week to week. I would give the edge to Ramondre. I do like Dylan, but
I do too.
He doesn't really seem to get goal line carries. I would go Ramondre.
Yeah. And then last but not least, J-Rob versus Darrell Williams. I think that's a little tough, but the Chiefs are playing the Raiders. Their run defense has been middle of the road, I think. J-Rob is kind of banged up. I think I go Darrell Williams. Could be a little breakout game for Darrell Williams.
Yeah. Let me make sure. pretty sure CEH is not.
He's not expected to play.
Right.
Colts has a pretty good defense.
They do. Yeah, they've been tough against the run. I would go Williams too. Yeah.
Well, that does it. I really thank Drew for coming in. We had Cademan. We even got some B-dubs back in, and Justin Anuna was here. Anuna, right? It's got to be Anuna, right? Anuna. And
Marcos Valdez.
Was Marcos Valdez here too? I missed him. Yeah, Marcos, thanks for joining us. All of y'all, appreciate you coming and watching and participating with questions. Come back on this is Saturday. Tuesday night, we'll probably be at it again. Man, it's late.
It is like I don't know. We've gone so far downhill in one season in terms of like our energy level at night. You know? Like it's just from last year to this year, it's bad.
Well, thank you. Listen, it would be a lot worse if we didn't have a little Juvano and Cademan to always be there to encourage us. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Drew. Peace out. Have a great weekend.
Good luck. And maybe, good luck, Drew, on staying unbeaten. The last, as I mentioned last week, out of my 21 leagues, you're the only.
That's Drew? Drew's the one who's unbeaten? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is awesome. Yeah. So good night, everybody. We're not even going to outro it. We're just going to go.